All right, so welcome to another video. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Disney because it keeps tanking, and we're going to talk about maybe it going a little bit further or lower. So let's go ahead and do a little discussion and check things out. I do want to let you know that if you're interested in checking these things out, definitely take a look at our Discord channel right here, where I post a lot of different charts and tidbits. So the link's going to be in the description below. So go ahead and just click the link there, and it's kind of like a chat room. You can ask me questions in there as well. And also check out the website, tradersfly.com. We've got a couple classes here on options coming up very soon that you could also take a look at. All right, so let's get started. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Disney. Disney's been just struggling lately with the stock. I mean, stocks overall in general has just been a little bit weak. So if we look at kind of just Disney, there's a lot of shall we say, pressure against Disney. Florida passes built-in Disney self-government state, Disney, what's Florida feud? There's just a lot of problems going on in Disney. There's also the streaming problems that Netflix had, which basically was saying, hey, we're starting to lose subscribers. So Netflix earnings, if you just go ahead and take a look at that. It really just wiped off the value as subscribers are quitting. So people are now worried about the Disney subscription things as well. And when we start looking at Disney here overall, and you start saying, hey, okay, well, let's take a look at this stock. So overall, the trend lately, if you just look at the last few months since, call it March, I mean, this stock is just kind of going downhill there. So that's really a problem when we're looking at the Disney stock there. So you've got some issues here underlying beneath the surface. We've got right here a little bit of an issue and problem there. So you can see the bearish volume there picking up some speed. We break in this support line right there. There's that support line right there breaking down. And just overall, the trend is continuing lower. So you could take a look at that. It's just resistance after resistance after resistance. It's just going downwards. So now, where's kind of the next few stops? So already we're kind of looking at this area of 120, but it's already breaking that on volume and accelerated volume. We've got a few hot spots right here at about 110. That could be nice, but I think the psychological level, you'll probably get into about that 100 level, and that's bringing that stock back all the way over here. And we did have some confluence here in 2020, but I mean, you look at this chart, and more than likely with the stocks the way they are, the worrisome things that are going on in there, I think these things will pull back probably to about 110 to at least test there, if not about 100. So right now, these stocks, they've got a lot of huge selling pressure. There's behind them, they're, in other words, basically crashing, because if you look at the movement behind them, the energy and just overall how far we've pulled back, we're already down 41% from those highs. So you're down about 50% on this stock. So we were overinflated over at the highs over there, and now we're kind of getting into more normal ranges. So coming back into about 110, 100, it's going to start to become a better buying opportunity at those levels. So you got to make sure you have enough cash, powder, and to be able to go ahead and buy the dips, because this is what happens is that people go ahead and they kind of panic out around this point up until the point that stock maybe goes a little bit lower and then finally reverses course, and then later on it gets back to 150 and then people start buying it then. So be careful that you don't miss the move on the dip, but right now is not the time to still buy the dip. It's still the energy is still on the downward spiral on Disney. So if we're looking at it, the trend is still to the downside. So be wary here with the markets. We're just accelerating downward with a lot of these stocks, and I would watch this 110 right now. 130 is going to be your resistance. If it pops, you'll probably get a rejection back to about 110. We're probably going to play around there. And if we get into it, about 100 to 90 is kind of what you're looking at, a few spots. 100 because of the psychology, and also right here, if you look at this all the way through, there's about that 100, and then there is your 90 or a price level or so. So those are some of the key levels, but I think 110 is kind of the next big stop for the stock. It's only $9 or 9 points lower from here, and we just had a huge surge here from from 2020. We went from 80 to 200. So we could easily do this pullback right here to 110. So it's not like look at how much we tanked over here on this point. So be careful. Market's extremely weak. Even if we look at the SPY right now, it's just acting incredibly weak. We were down about, last couple days. Just now in 2 days, we've taken out a ton of movement. So we just continue to rip to the downside. And I think there's only a couple of green candles unless you zoom in on the minute ticks. But in the 30-minute, there's only just barely any green candles candles. So be careful. Just overall markets are weak. If you look at Facebook, they're also breaking down in a big way. And if these continue with selling pressure, you might see some of these stocks get back into that $100 price range, just like, you know, Roku's already down here and breaking the 100 and continues to go, you know, lower. So be mindful where we're at. And Disney, even though it's a great stock and company and has been over the years, you know, but right now we've got some serious trouble right there. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and you know, don't forget to subscribe and grab some of the goodies here on our website. I'll see you next time.